The house had been empty for 37 years. Kalis Ven materialized in the main hall of his Oregon estate at precisely 0800 hours. 7 feet tall, silver-skinned, with eyes like molten gold, unmistakably alien. He wore a dark suit that shimmered with embedded technology. Then he heard it. A child's laugh quickly shushed. His eyes flared brighter. A holographic scan revealed 3 heat signatures. Second floor. 1 adult, 2 children, intruders, on sovereign Viridian territory, punishable by immediate neural erasure. Kalis moved silently up the stairs and found them in a guest bedroom. A woman reading to 2 children, all huddled on sleeping bags. Their clothes were worn, their faces thin. They'd been here for months. He stepped into the doorway. The woman saw him first. Her eyes went wide, and she immediately pushed both children behind her. "Stay back! I'm armed!" She wasn't. Kailas's scan confirmed it. "You are trespassing on sovereign territory," he said, voice emotionless. "Explain." "My name is Sarah Mitchell. These are my children, Ethan and Lily. We've been living here for 3 months. I know we shouldn't be, but we had nowhere else to go. This property is mine. You will leave immediately." Sarah's arms stayed spread, protecting her children. "Please, we just need a few more weeks. The shelters are full. It's getting cold. You have 1 hour. Sir, please. Are you going to kill us?" The boy, Ethan, asked, voice small. Kalis studied them. The mother's fierce protection, the children's fear, the worn bags, the camping stove, the desperation. 58 minutes remaining. They packed in silence. Sarah folded clothes carefully despite the rush. The little girl, Lily, clutched a stuffed animal and cried quietly. 43 minutes later, they stood at the front door with their bags. "We're ready," Sarah said. "Thank you for giving us time." They stepped outside into the October cold. No car. The nearest town was 15 miles away. Kalis watched them start walking. The children were shivering in thin coats. Something in his chest tightened, a sensation he hadn't felt in decades. "Stop!" Sarah turned, hopeful and terrified. "Re-enter the house. You may remain temporarily, 60 days, until you secure alternate housing." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. We won't be any trouble. Conditions apply. 2nd floor east wing only. No restricted areas. Maintain cleanliness." They hurried back inside. Kailas closed the door and immediately questioned his decision. What had he just done? The first 3 days, Sarah kept the children quiet and hidden. They moved like ghosts through their designated wing. Kailas monitored them through security systems, continuing his work remotely. He was emperor of the Viridian Expanse, 12 solar systems. Political rebellion had forced him back to Earth while his forces restored order. This house was supposed to be his secure base, not a shelter for human refugees. On the 4th morning, he found Sarah in the kitchen making oatmeal on her camping stove. She froze. "I'm sorry. I thought the kitchen. Shared space. You may use it." Sarah relaxed. "Would you like some?" "I do not consume human food. My biology is incompatible." "That's sad. Food is one of the best parts of being human." "Why did you let us stay?" Sarah asked suddenly. "You clearly didn't want us here." "It was tactically inefficient to allow juveniles to walk 15 miles in adverse weather." "So it was practical? Not because you felt bad?" "I do not experience human emotional responses." "Limited isn't none," Sarah said softly. Before Kailas could respond, Ethan appeared, eyes wide, seeing the Emperor. "It's okay, honey," Sarah said quickly. Ethan stared at Kailas. "Are you really an alien?" "Yes." "That's so cool. Do you have a spaceship? Can you fly? Do you shoot lasers?" "Ethan!" Sarah scolded, but Kailas found himself almost amused. "I have a vessel. I can manipulate gravitational fields for flight. And my technology includes directed energy weapons. Yes." "Awesome," Ethan breathed. That night, Kailas heard crying. His senses indicated distress from the small female child, Lily. He should ignore it. But the crying continued, and Sarah's attempts to soothe her weren't working. He appeared in their doorway. Sarah jumped. "She's okay, just a nightmare." "Mommy, the monsters!" Lily sobbed. Kalis observed the child's terror, irrational as there were no actual threats, but her amygdala was activated, flooding her system with stress hormones. He extended his hand. A soft golden light emanated from his palm, forming shapes in the air, floating orbs that danced and sparkled. Lily's crying slowed, her eyes following the lights. "What are those?" she whispered. "Photonic constructs. Harmless illumination. They're pretty." The orbs swirled, forming animals, a butterfly, a bird, a dolphin. Lily giggled. "Can you make a unicorn?" Kalis had no idea what that was, but his neural interface quickly accessed Earth's database. He formed the mythological creature. "Yes, thank you, Mr. Alien." Sarah stared at him, something unreadable in her expression. That was kind. The distress was affecting sleep cycles. This was efficient. But they both knew it was more than that. Over the next 2 weeks, an uneasy routine developed. Sarah got a job, part-time at a grocery store. Not enough to afford housing, but something. Kalis allowed her to use one of his vehicles, an older sedan in the garage. "I'll pay you back," she insisted. "Unnecessary?" "It's necessary to me." The children treated him with curious fascination. Ethan asked endless questions about space, technology, aliens. Lily would leave drawings outside his study, stick figures of them all together. Kalis told himself he tolerated this because confrontation was inefficient. But the truth was becoming harder to deny. He was adapting to their presence. One evening he emerged from his study to find them watching a movie in the living room, something called E.T. "This is wildly inaccurate," he commented. Sarah jumped. "Sorry, we didn't think you'd mind." "I do not. But your entertainment portrayal of extraterrestrials is absurd." "What's wrong with it?" Ethan asked. "The biological implausibilities alone." "Just sit down and watch," Sarah laughed. "Not everything needs to be scientifically accurate." Kalis found himself sitting, found himself explaining the inaccuracies, found the children's questions not unbearable. When Lily fell asleep against his leg, he froze. "She trusts you," Sarah said softly. "She should not. I am not human. No. But you're not cruel either. That matters more." But not everything was peaceful. Kailas's enemies were watching. The Kyle Zith, a rival faction in his empire, had been monitoring Earth communications. They knew he was here, and they discovered he wasn't alone. Late one night, alarms shrieked through the house. Kalis was instantly alert. 3 hostile vessels entering Earth's atmosphere, heading directly for his location. He found Sarah in the hallway, children behind her, all terrified. "What's happening?" "Hostiles incoming. Return to your quarters. Lock the door." "What about you?" "This is my concern. Go." Kalis stepped outside as 3 ships materialized, sleek, deadly, crackling with weapons fire. The Kyle Zith had sent assassins. He raised his hands. Energy shields materialized around the house. The first barrage of weapons fire deflected harmlessly. "Kalis Ven!" a voice boomed. "Surrender or we destroy everything." "You violate interstellar law. This is protected territory. The Council no longer recognizes your authority. You are deposed, Emperor, and those humans you harbor, they die with you." Rage, cold and absolute, flooded Kalis's system. They threatened the children. His eyes blazed. Power surged through him. Gravitational manipulation, energy weapons, technology beyond human comprehension. The battle lasted exactly 97 seconds. When it ended, 3 ships were disabled and crashing into the ocean. Their pilots were unconscious, contained in stasis fields for extraction. But the house was damaged, windows shattered, part of the roof collapsed. Kalis rushed inside, found Sarah and the children huddled under a table, covered in dust, but alive. "Are you injured?" "We're okay," Sarah gasped. "What were those things?" "Enemies from my empire. They will not threaten you again. They said they'd kill us. Why would they care about us?" Kalis met her eyes. Because you are here, and anyone near me becomes a target. The implications hung heavy in the air. By morning, the house was repaired, Kalus's technology working overnight, but the damage to his peace of mind was permanent. You need to leave, he told Sarah. It is no longer safe. Where would we go? I will provide resources, financial support, housing assistance. That's not what I'm asking. Sarah stepped closer. Why do they want to kill you? Political rebellion. I was emperor. Now I am complicated. And they'll keep coming? Potentially. Sarah was quiet. Then, what if we stayed anyway? That would be illogical. You would be in constant danger. We're already in danger. At least here we have protection. Out there, she gestured to the world beyond. We have nothing. Your species has systems. Those systems failed us. You didn't. Her voice was firm. Let us make our own choice. Let us stay. Kalus stared at her. I cannot guarantee your safety. No one can. But I trust you more than I trust the world that abandoned us. Something shifted in Kalus's chest. This is not wise. Probably not, but it's ours to decide. He wanted to argue, wanted to force them to leave for their own protection, but looking at Sarah's determined face, at the children peering around her, trusting him. Very well, but enhanced security measures will be implemented immediately. Sarah smiled. Thank you. Over the following weeks, the house transformed. Kalus installed shields, defensive systems, early warning networks. The property became a fortress, but it also became something else. Sarah started cooking for everyone. Yes, Kalus couldn't eat it, but he found himself present during meals anyway. The children's questions became less about fear and more about genuine curiosity. Do you have kids? Lily asked one dinner. I did. Once. Long ago. Everyone went quiet. What happened to them? Ethan asked gently. My homeworld was attacked. My mate and offspring did not survive. That was 847 years ago. Sarah's hand found his arm. I'm so sorry. It is past. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Kalus looked at her hand on his arm. No, it does not. That night, Lily insisted Kalus read her bedtime story. Sarah watched from the doorway as the alien emperor, conqueror of star systems, stumbled through where the wild things are in his precise, emotionless voice. You're good at this, Sarah said after Lily fell asleep. I am adequate. You're more than adequate. You're present. You care. Even if you won't admit it. Kalus stood. I should not care. Attachment is a vulnerability. Maybe. But it's also what makes life worth living. He had no answer for that. The Kael'Zith came again, but this time with more force. 6 ships, dozens of soldiers. They attacked at dawn. Kalus fought with everything he had. Energy blasts, gravitational wells, matter manipulation. But they were targeting the house specifically. A blast broke through his shields. Sarah screamed. The children! Kalus teleported inside, found them trapped under debris. Ethan's leg was bleeding. Lily was unconscious. Something primal awakened in him. He carried all 3 outside in a single motion, placed them in the reinforced shelter he'd built. Stay here. Do not emerge until I return. Kalus! Sarah grabbed his arm. Don't die. Please. He looked at her. Really looked. Saw fear and care, and something he hadn't felt directed at him in centuries. I will not. He returned to battle transformed. This wasn't about politics anymore. It wasn't about his empire or his throne. It was about 3 humans who'd become his to protect. The Kael'Zith leader faced him. Give up, Kalus. Your reign is over. You threatened my family, Kalus said, voice cold as absolute zero. That was your mistake. Family. He'd said it without thinking, but he meant it. The battle was brutal, but decisive. Kalus didn't just defeat them, he made an example. Every ship destroyed, every soldier captured. A message sent across the stars. Touch them and face annihilation. When it ended, he returned to the shelter. Sarah rushed out, children behind her. You're alive. Affirmative, and they will not return. How can you be sure? Because I have declared you under Imperial protection. Anyone who harms you declares war on the entire Viridian expanse. My empire may be in chaos, but that decree still carries absolute authority." Sarah stared. "You did that? For us?" "Yes." "Why?" Kahless looked at the children, Ethan clutching his injured leg but grinning at him, Lily reaching up with her arms wanting to be held. At Sarah, exhausted and terrified, but still standing strong. "Because you are mine to protect. I failed my first family. I will not fail this one." "This one?" Sarah's voice was soft. "If you will accept it." The children rushed him, hugging his legs. Sarah stepped close, eyes shining. "Yeah, we accept." For the first time in 847 years, Kahless felt warmth in his chest that had nothing to do with biology. He felt home. Word of Kahless's declaration spread through his empire. Some called it weakness. Others called it unprecedented. The Viridian High Council contacted him directly. "You cannot claim humans as family," the lead counselor said via hologram. "They are not our species. I am Emperor. I decide what constitutes family. You were Emperor." "The rebellion is over," Kahless interrupted. "I have mobilized loyalist forces. You will reinstate my authority, or I will return personally and remind you why I ruled unchallenged for 600 years. Silence. "Then, what do you want?" "Earth granted protected status, this family under permanent imperial guard, and funding for humanitarian aid to this planet's displaced populations." "That's generous." "It is strategic. This species has potential. We should nurture it, not ignore it." The council agreed. Kahless was reinstated, but with conditions. He would rule remotely from Earth, visiting his capital only when necessary. He accepted without hesitation. Life settled into new rhythms. Sarah got a better job. Kahless helped with connections and credentials, not charity but opportunity. She insisted on contributing to household expenses, even though Kahless found this absurd. "It's about dignity," she explained. He was learning dignity mattered more than efficiency sometimes. Ethan excelled at school, especially science. Kahless tutored him in mathematics far beyond Earth standards. The boy had aptitude. "Could I be a scientist, like study space?" Ethan asked. "You can be whatever you choose. I will ensure you have the education required." Lily followed Kahless everywhere, chattering endlessly. He found her presence not unpleasant. She would sit in his study while he worked, coloring quietly. "Are you my space dad?" she asked one day. Kahless froze. "I am not your biological parent, but you take care of us like a dad." "I suppose I do." "Then you're my space dad." She grinned and went back to coloring. Sarah overheard from the hallway, smiling. 6 months after the first attack, Sarah found Kahless on the balcony late at night, staring at the stars. "Homesick?" she asked. "Contemplative. I ruled an empire from grand citadels. Now I command from a house in Oregon with 2 human children asleep upstairs." "Any regrets?" Kahless considered. "No. I have more purpose here than I had in 847 years of ruling. My empire needed strength. This family needed protection. I have found both." Sarah moved closer. "Can I ask you something personal?" "Proceed." "Your first family. Do you think they'd be okay with this? With us?" "My mate, Seralin, believed in protecting the vulnerable. She would approve. My offspring would have welcomed you." He paused. "I believe this is what she would have wanted. For me to find purpose again, to not remain frozen in grief. I understand that. After my husband died, I thought my life was over, that I'd just be surviving for the kids' sake, but now—" She looked at him. "Now I'm living again." They stood in comfortable silence. "Sarah." "Yeah? Thank you for breaking into my house." She laughed. "Thank you for not killing us. It would have been wasteful." "Is that all?" she teased. "No. It would have been unforgivable. You have given me something I thought I had lost forever." "What's that?" "A reason beyond conquest to wake each day." Sarah took his hand, an unusual gesture between their species, but one he'd learned meant connection. "You've given us the same, home, safety, family, family. The word felt right now. Not everyone on Earth was happy about an alien emperor living among them. Government officials came knocking, literally. FBI, CIA, Department of Defense, all demanding answers. Mr. Ven, or should we say Emperor, we need to discuss your presence on US soil. Kahless stood in his doorway, blocking entry. My presence is covered under interstellar treaty established in 1987 between your government and the Viridian Expanse. This property is sovereign territory. That treaty was classified, and yet I am here legally. What is your actual concern? The lead agent, a stern woman named Director Morrison, stepped forward. You had an aerial battle that crashed 3 alien vessels off the Oregon coast. That's a bit more than just presence. I defended my home from illegal attackers. Your laws permit self-defense. Against aliens? Against anyone? Kahless's eyes flared slightly. Would you prefer I had allowed them to destroy a residential area? The blast radius would have affected 17 square miles. Morrison hesitated. We need assurances that you're not a threat. Then speak with Sarah Mitchell. She will vouch for my character. The woman living with you. Yes, along with her children, who are under my protection. Morrison's expression shifted. So the rumors are true. You've adopted them? In a manner of speaking. An alien adopting human children. That's unprecedented. Many things about my situation are unprecedented. Yet here we are. Morrison insisted on interviewing Sarah privately. They met at a coffee shop in town. Ms. Mitchell, I need to understand your situation. You're living with an alien emperor who commands star systems. How did this happen? Sarah explained. The desperation, finding the house, Kahless discovering them, his unexpected mercy. And you're not afraid of him? At first, yes. But he's proven himself. He's protected us, helped us, treated my kids with more care than some humans have. But he's not human. His motives are clearer than most humans I know, Sarah interrupted. He lost his own family centuries ago. He understands loss, grief, protection, maybe better than we do. Morrison studied her. You care about him. He's family now. Yes, I care. Ms. Mitchell, he could be using you. As cover, as leverage. He's not. I know manipulation when I see it. I survived an abusive system, a crushing medical system, homelessness. I've seen the worst humanity offers. Kahless isn't perfect, but he's honest. He doesn't hide what he is or what he wants. And what does he want? Sarah smiled. The same thing any parent wants, to protect his kids and have peace. Morrison left unsettled, but convinced. Her report to her superiors. Threat level minimal. Recommend continued monitoring but no action. But not all threats came from governments. A hate group, Humans First, started protesting outside the property. They called Kahless a colonizer, demanded he leave Earth, threatened violence. Kahless watched their protests with detached interest. Should we be worried? Sarah asked. No, they are exercising free speech rights. I will not interfere. They're threatening us. With words. If actions follow, I will respond appropriately. Actions did follow. Someone threw a brick through the front window, then a Molotov cocktail that Kahless neutralized before it could ignite. Then they tried to breach the fence. That's when Kahless descended the stairs in full Imperial regalia. Armor that shimmered with power, eyes blazing, every inch the conqueror of star systems. He stood at the fence line and spoke, his voice amplified by technology. I am Kahless Ven, Emperor of the Viridian Expanse. I have ended wars, conquered systems, commanded fleets that darken your skies. I am not here to invade. I am not here to colonize. I am here because this house is my home and the humans within it are my family. He paused. You fear me because I am different, but I have shown more care for the vulnerable of your species than your own systems have. Sarah Mitchell and her children were abandoned by your society. I gave them shelter, protection, purpose. The crowd was silent. If you wish to protest, do so peacefully. but threaten my family again, and you will discover why 12 solar systems kneel before me." He turned and walked back inside. The protests stopped. A year passed. Ethan turned 9, thriving in school. Lily was 6, bright and fearless. Sarah had been promoted at work, building a career. And Kalis, he was changing. He laughed now, a strange, rusty sound at first, but genuine. He played games with the children. He learned to cook badly because Lily said she wanted to teach him. The Emperor of the Viridian Expanse made pancakes shaped like aliens while a 6-year-old human gave instructions. "No, Space Dad, you have to flip it faster. I am attempting precision. Faster!" The pancake landed on the ceiling. They both stared. "That was my mistake," Kalis admitted. Lily giggled. "It's okay. We'll make more." Sarah watched from the doorway, heart full. But Kalis's empire needed him. A crisis emerged that required his physical presence at the capital. He would be gone for 2 weeks. "Will you be okay?" he asked Sarah the night before leaving. "We'll be fine. Enhanced security, direct line to your flagship, orbital defense satellites. You've turned this house into a fortress. Nevertheless, I do not like leaving you unprotected." "We're not unprotected. We have everything you built, and we're strong." Kalis nodded. Then, surprising himself, pulled her into an embrace, awkward, stiff, but sincere. "I will return." "I know. Be safe out there, Kalis." The children gave him drawings to take. "So you remember us in space," as if he could forget. His time at the Imperial capital was efficient, but unpleasant. He resolved the crisis in 4 days, a territorial dispute solved with strategic realignment. But he was restless. His advisors noticed. "Emperor, you seem distracted." "I am concerned about Earth." "The humans?" "My family." The word still felt strange on his tongue, but right. "You've changed," his oldest advisor said. "In all my centuries serving you, I've never seen you like this." "Is it the humans? They have reminded me what I was fighting for. All these years I ruled through strength and logic, but I forgot purpose. They gave it back by simply existing, by simply needing me. I had forgotten what that felt like. On day 5, alarms shrieked across his flagship. Earth tracking showed unauthorized vessels entering the solar system. "Kyle Zith?" Kalis demanded. "No, sir. Unknown signatures. They're heading directly for your Earth residence." Kalis's blood ran cold. "Prepare immediate jump to Earth coordinates. Battle configuration." "Sir, jumping into Earth's atmosphere violates—" "Do it! Now!" On Earth, Sarah woke to alarms. The house shields activated automatically. Outside, 5 vessels descended, sleek, aggressive, weapons hot. She grabbed the children, ran for the safe room. "Stay here, don't come out." "Mom, what's happening?" Ethan was terrified. "I don't know, but Kalis will come, he promised." The house shook as weapons fire impacted shields. Sarah held her children, praying. Then a massive ship materialized above the house, Kalis's flagship. And from it, the Emperor descended like an avenging god, power radiating from every gesture. The battle lasted 3 minutes. When it ended, all 5 enemy vessels were disabled. Their crews were in stasis fields, and Kalis was kneeling in the safe room doorway. "You are unharmed?" Sarah rushed to him. "We're okay, you came. Always, I will always come." Lily threw her arms around his neck. "You saved us, Space Dad." Kalis held her carefully. "Yes, I did. After the attack, Kalis made a decision. He abdicated, not fully. He retained his title and authority, but he appointed a ruling council to handle day-to-day governance. He would remain emperor, but from Earth." "You're really doing this?" Sarah asked, stunned. "Giving up direct control?" "I am redistributing authority. My empire has grown too large for one being to manage alone. It is more efficient this way. And totally not because you want to stay here with us." Kalis was silent. "It is approximately 37% about staying here." Sarah laughed. "Only 37? Perhaps 62. Try 90. Possibly." She hugged him. "Thank you for choosing us. You gave me a choice to make. I chose family over empire. I do not regret it." Legal papers were filed. Kahless became official guardian to Ethan and Lily, a complicated process involving international law, alien treaties, and a very confused judge. Mr. Venn, you understand this grants you parental rights and responsibilities? I have been exercising those responsibilities for 18 months already. This merely formalizes it. And you're committed to raising human children? To their education, health, welfare? Absolutely. The judge looked at Sarah. Ms. Mitchell? He's already their father in every way that matters. This just makes it legal. Well then, the judge signed. Congratulations, it's official. Walking out of the courthouse, Lily held Kahless's hand. Does this mean you're really my dad now? If you wish it to be so. I do. I have a space dad. That's so cool. Ethan grinned. Can I tell kids at school my dad is an alien emperor? They likely will not believe you. That's okay. I know it's true. Life continued to evolve. Kahless attended parent-teacher conferences, which thoroughly confused Ethan's teachers. Your father is very direct. Yeah, he's like that, Ethan said proudly. He coached Lily's soccer team despite understanding nothing about the sport. His strategies involved gravitational calculations and probability matrices. They won every game. He learned Earth holidays. Christmas was baffling. You celebrate by placing a dead tree indoors and covering it with lights. But he participated because the children loved it. His gift to them, a holographic star map showing every system in his empire, interactive and educational. Lily's gift to him, a macaroni necklace she'd made in art class. He wore it to an Imperial Council meeting via hologram. His advisors pretended not to notice. Sarah watched him evolve with quiet amazement. The cold, distant emperor had become a father who read bedtime stories and made terrible pancakes and wore macaroni jewelry without shame. You're happy, she observed one evening. Happiness is an emotional state I am still learning to identify. But yes, I believe I am experiencing it. I'm glad. You deserve it. As do you. You have built a life from nothing. Your strength is remarkable. Couldn't have done it without you. We rebuilt together. That is what family does. Sarah moved closer. Kahless, can I ask you something? Always. Do you ever think about us? Not just as family, but... She trailed off, unsure. Kahless understood. You are asking if I have developed romantic attachment. I know it's complicated. Different species, different biology, irrelevant factors. Yes, Sarah, I have developed feelings beyond familial affection. I did not intend to, but you are remarkable. Strong, resilient, kind despite hardship. You remind me that vulnerability and strength can coexist. I feel the same way about you. Is that crazy? Perhaps, but I have learned that the most meaningful things often are. They kissed, awkward at first, two beings still learning each other, but also right, so completely right. Watching from the stairs, Ethan whispered to Lily, told you they liked each other. Does this mean Mom and Space Dad are married now? Not how it works. But they should be. 2 years after Kahless found them in his house, he proposed. Not in a human way. Viridian bonding ceremonies were different. But he made the effort to incorporate Earth customs. He took Sarah to a cliff overlooking the ocean at sunset. The children were there too, grinning. Sarah Mitchell. In my 847 years of existence, I have conquered systems, commanded fleets, held absolute power. None of it prepared me for you. For them. He gestured to Ethan and Lily. You taught me that strength without love is hollow. That power without purpose is meaningless. You gave me family when I thought that possibility was lost forever. He knelt, an emperor kneeling before a human woman. Will you bond with me? Not just as co-parent, but as life partner. Will you make our family official in all ways? Sarah was crying. Yes, absolutely yes. The children cheered. The wedding was small, just close friends, Director Morrison. They'd become unlikely friends, and a handful of trusted allies from Kahless's empire who traveled across stars to witness an emperor marry a human. It was unprecedented. It was perfect. 5 years later, the house had expanded. Kahless had literally grown the structure using Viridian technology. Now it accommodated visiting family, space for Ethan's growing science lab, Lily's art studio, Sarah's home office. Ethan was 14, already accepted into advanced university programs. He wanted to be a xenobiologist. Lily was 11, artistic and fierce. She wanted to be an ambassador. Someone has to teach aliens and humans to get along. Sarah ran a non-profit helping displaced families find housing. Kahless provided funding and resources. And Kahless? He ruled his empire remotely, attended parent-teacher conferences, coached soccer, and made pancakes that still sometimes ended up on the ceiling. One evening, the whole family sat on the back patio watching the sunset. A Viridian ship passed overhead, one of many that now regularly visited Earth as relations normalized. "Think we did okay?" Sarah asked, leaning against her husband. "Define okay." "This, us, family." Kahless looked at Ethan, explaining constellation patterns to Lily, both of them animated and happy. Looked at Sarah, strong and content. Looked at the life they'd built from nothing. "Yes, I think we exceeded expectations significantly." "You know what the best part is?" Sarah smiled. "Tell me." "When you found us, we were 3 broken people with nothing. We were trespassing in your house, terrified you'd destroy us. I almost did. But you didn't. You saw us, really saw us. And instead of destroying, you protected. Instead of casting out, you kept us. You gave me purpose. You gave us a life. And look at us now. We're not broken anymore. We're whole." Kahless pulled her close. "We rebuilt each other. That is the greatest power in any universe. Not conquest or dominion, but the choice to heal together." Lily ran over. "Space Dad, Mum, come see." "Ethan says there's a meteor shower in 20 minutes. Technically a Perseid meteor shower caused by debris from Comet Swift-Tuttle," Ethan called. "Whatever, it's cool. Come on." They all moved to the lawn, spread out blankets, lay down as a family to watch the sky. Kahless, emperor of the Viridian expanse, conqueror of star systems, lay on Earth grass with his human wife and children, watching space dust burn across the atmosphere. "I love you," he said to all of them. "That is the correct phrase, yes?" Sarah laughed, tears in her eyes. "That's exactly the correct phrase." "I love you too, Space Dad," Lily said. "Love you, Dad," Ethan added. Dad. Not Space Dad. Just Dad. Kahless felt something in his chest, that warmth that had grown from the first moment he'd chosen not to destroy them, the warmth that had become purpose, then affection, then love. He'd ruled galaxies, but this moment, this family, this life, was his greatest achievement. Not conquest, love. The meteors streaked across the sky, and Emperor Kahless Ven held his family close, finally understanding what he'd been searching for across 847 years of existence: home.